Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel, and today we are going to be diving right back into Volume 9 Wishlist that you all have come up with. This is part 4 of the mini-series, and if you have not watched part 1, 2, and 3, then you are super behind, and you might want to go watch those. But you are not required to watch those to understand this one. For a brief recap, the question that was asked is, what are the top things you guys want to see the most in Volume 9? It can be anything, quality of life features, cars, tracks, etc. However, in this part, we're going to do things a bit differently due to the similarities that a lot of the answers tend to give. I have went through the rest of the comments on the community post and have taken some ideas that have not been talked about in every video or talked about at all. The people that had these ideas will be put on the screen as they are being spoken about. This way, we are not talking about the same things as older videos, because in that case, what is the point of this one, right? I want to first state that everything I say is my opinion unless specifically stated to come from a source. I've had a few people ask me where I'm getting my information from for my videos and tried to say I was spreading misinformation, but I haven't taken the time to watch the video and reach the part within the first minute where I state these things are my opinion. It tends to be a lot of people from a certain website that starts with an R, but I digress. The second thing I want to say is, of course, if you enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 600 subs. We technically have 7 days to reach it, but if we could reach it even sooner, that would be amazing. Also, I do stream on Twitch almost every single day, so if you are interested in talking in real time, come join us over there. Let's have a discussion. But besides that, let's get into the video. These few ideas come from Psychopathic, and they stated, if someone leaves in the middle of a race, they should be banned from that particular race for at least 6 hours, and the maximum ban time can be decided by the developers. So, let's talk about this real quick. I like the idea, but I feel that the punishment doesn't really fit the crime. A person left the race you're in for who knows what reason, right? Maybe they crashed, they rage quit the race, their parents called them to eat, whatever. But a ban from doing that race for 6 hours is kind of insane. Yes, the amount of money you win at the end does go down and you may have one less person to race against, but it doesn't impact your racing experience so much that the other racer should be banned in the same time that is 2 hours less than a full-time job. If anything, I would suggest that 1, it must be a multiple time offense. The racer needs to have quit multiple races multiple times within a session, maybe 5-6 times. Then second, have the racer lose XP or a bit of money. Maybe even have it so that they aren't banned, but they can't get any money from racing for a specific amount of time. Definitely not 6 hours though. If no one joins a race in online multiplayer, they can add offline single player AI racers to fill the spots. I do like this idea, but to add on to it, there should be an option to turn on AI racers or turn them off when someone does not join. A lot of people, especially on the competitive side, love the fact that we can now do races by ourselves, as it saves them the hassle of using time attack mods or dealing with unexperienced racers that may slow them down. AI in Unbound can be unreliable on the track sometimes and can cause a lot of annoyance. This is apparent when doing smaller tracks that have multiple laps or doing speed races where they will slingshot. Granted, this only happens in story mode, but then again, the AI are currently only in story mode. With an option to toggle this feature on and off, we could just have the enjoyment and payday of racing with a full party, and when we get tired of that and just want to race by ourselves, we could turn them right off. This might seem a bit off topic. Need for Speed Unbound could introduce a fair race update. Lotus Evija has become very overrated for S Plus races. Whenever I join an S Plus race, most players pick the Lotus. But there are many other S Plus cars like the Porsche 918 Spider, the Lamborghini Countach, McLaren P1, Ferrari Evo, etc. It would be better if everyone raced using the same car. For example, I want everyone to race with the Porsche 918 Spider. The person who starts the race from the playlist could be considered the host. If anyone joins that race, they would have to use the car that the host has chosen. Before joining the race, there would be an extra message. Like for example, someone has started a playlist with the Porsche 918 Spider, so that other players can see which car they need to use before joining. If they don't have that car, they can't join. But the car customization and performance is up to the players. Here, the Porsche is just an example. It could be any S Plus tier car, This way, there will be a fair race, and it will prove that it's not about the ride, it's about the rider. The fairest that Unbound is going to get is the stock car playlist. This idea is good, but it still wouldn't be fair. If the build is left up to the player, then those with a better build will come out on top, completely countering the point of the fair races. If you were to remove the building aspect, then what is the purpose of the update? Yes, you can use these cars on more tracks now, so I get the point of it all, but the feeling of having a playlist being locked to one specific car is what the community is trying to get away from right now the most. The most complained about thing is the new playlist where we can't use our cars and have variety on the new tracks. So imagine how this would go if they were to implement this idea, at least during this time. The idea is good, don't get me wrong, but I think it may need some time to be adjusted first. The next idea is from Miller Maxwell 1731, where they mention a custom track builder. A track builder would be so crazy to see in Unbound, and a lot of people don't mention this. Unbound certainly has the map for it, so that's not a problem, and there's plenty of unused space for tracks. There are a bunch of fields that could be used for off-road. We could use some of those forgotten portions of the highways for straight tracks, and the turns and alleyways throughout the city would be some really nice changes. Let's not forget about Drift and Drag either, or Gauntlet. If they are going to add a bit of track customization, give players the option to choose what tier it is for first, and then what type of race it will be. Also, give players control over traffic spawns, conditions of the race, and if they're feeling risky, allow players to ban certain cars or allow a certain type of car or year of car to be used. This would really spice up the community, and we would even have a brand new community of track builders. There could be competitions for the best track, the hardest track, the most unique track, everything that Forza has, bring it to Unbound. The next answer is from Yusuf Ali, who said, "We need a favorite system that always allows us to like cars, and those cars will be the first ones on our list when we are picking them for a race. I cannot tell you how many times I've picked the wrong car because I ran out of time or I was trying to find that one specific car between 40 of my A+ cars." I can 100% relate to this, and yes, the UI for the car selection needs an update that will bring in a bunch of quality of life features. Quality of life features in racing games are often the one big thing that makes the overall experience enjoyable. While the core mechanics like car handling, track design, physics, they're good, but it's the quality of life improvement that make navigating the game smoother and more player friendly. Navigating menus, selecting races, and choosing cars for said races should be fast and intuitive. Quality of life features are about removing obstacles between the player and the fun. There should not be an option to where a player cannot select a car they want because they can't find it in the swarm of other cars they have because of the customization and building. Second, whenever you join a playlist, it never shows the first race. Like, why? So because of this, some people have memorized playlists, but that is just tiresome. I even resulted to this, and this makes it so that you have to guess the track, and based on what you might pick, a short track build when the first race is long track. I personally have 1,200 plus hours in this game, and sometimes I still have to ask the chat what the first race is for a playlist. And I know a bunch of people who race on the competitive level that have to do this as well. This is yet another quality of life feature that I feel should have been added to the game, and is a disservice to racers that it is not in the game. Not all players are familiar with every track, especially in Unbound that has multiple different tiers and playlists. Showing a race preview helps players understand the track's layout, and this is particularly important for new players. Imagine just buying the game and you see rapid transit. What is rapid transit? How are you supposed to know what is about to go on? This is a great recommendation for the next volume. Third and lastly, we should be able to buy out challenges. This right here, I've never seen this idea before. Challenges for cars has been talked about, but the option to buy them out has not. So that's why we are discussing this again. I do like the idea of giving players the opportunity to buy out their challenges for cars so that they can get them even sooner. Now, I will say that the buyout should not be cheap at all, and should be just enough so that a racer will question if it's better to grind it out or just buy it completely. Of course, I stated last video that the best solution is to not have these car challenges in general. They are a waste of time and made things so much harder than they had to be for a lot of the community, especially in the very early stages of the game. But if they were to add a fix besides taking them out, then yes, this is great. The next one is from Levi, who caught my attention with saying there should be a pink slip mechanic and the pink slip car shouldn't be sold. I do agree with this to an extent, and I had said this a while back in another one of my videos. Players can now bet on race positions with cash and bet on cars. This option would be identical to single player but with higher cash bets. This mode is also entirely optional, and players do not have to bet anything if they do not want to. For those who lose their money and or car, players can re-challenge the member to a race and win their car and or cash back, double or nothing. If they lose again, they can challenge an extremely difficult AI to a random playlist, and if they win, you get the cash and car you lost back. This cash will total the amount lost from the initial bet and the amount of the car that was lost, if you do not choose the car and just the cash. The player who won the car and cash keep them with no conditions attached. the wrap, build, and customization for the card will be kept and cannot be changed. The card's name will also be that of the player who it was taken from. The card cannot be sold for cash and can only be used as collateral for another bet. The card can be used in free roam. If the player wins too many bets, there will be a cooldown where the cops are now looking for the player. After the 10th bet won, you will receive an instant Heat 5 wanted level that cannot be escaped from for 10 minutes. A minute for each card that was taken. If busted, the player will lose half the money and the most recent card that was taken. However, this is just my idea that I said in a previous video. If players just want the card to be held as bragging rights, then by all means. Let me know down in the comments which option you guys like. Do you like the option that Levi said where the card cannot be sold and there will just be pink slips and it'll just be like a base level? Or do you want something like how I stated earlier? A few honorable mentions are from Goddrifter, who said crossplay update. Most of the time, PC players somehow always have an advantage due to mods, lag, etc. So have it so that it can either be on PC, Xbox, PS5, off their specific console versions, or console only, which is Xbox and PS5. And Tetsu, who said, Need for Speed Unbound should have a ranked mode in which you can get higher ranks the more races you win, or podium, kind of like what we had for Payback. Each half of volume you get a softer reset, but get rewards depending on your rank, like a car, body kit, a special smoke tag, a title, etc. The reason why I did not go into this one specifically is because I literally have a whole video on what a ranked mode would be like in Unbound, and a lot of the points that he said were in that video. So if you guys want to know about a ranked mode, how it would work, things of that nature, of course, it's my opinion. This is not something that's stated by Criterion. It's just my opinion, but definitely go check out that video. These were honorable mentions because they have been talked about extensively before, but just wanted to still give a bit of credit to them. Going through the rest of the comments, it does seem that I have covered them all. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.